What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XLM today, Stellar Lumens. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are, sitting at about 40.2 cents now. Looking like we're recovering a little bit for the week, right? We had a bit of a move down. Now we're pulling it up a little bit. 3 days, 17 hours left in the week. It does seem that we will not only close the week green, but we will begin this next phase up. Bitcoin looks like it's moving up. Some other cryptos in the space look like they're moving up. It definitely seems like we've got some momentum building to finish out this week. Looking at the weekly RSI here, we're bouncing off the 60 after getting overbought. Extremely overbought, man. You got almost to 100. It's crazy. On a weekly time frame, bouncing off the 60 here, very beautiful kind of thing to do. This time here, it didn't really merit anything, right? This time here, it did. You know, so it just most of the time it does. It's actually a really good setup, but you have to get the follow through. So that's what we're hopefully getting today. I think that you will get the follow through of this move, right? I don't think that you're going to give it up and then go lower. I do believe you're going to get the follow through. That likely takes you to the measure move of this bull flag pattern that you're in, right? Definitely in a bull flag of sorts right here. If this measure move is to be fulfilled, that target essentially would take you to about $2 and on this one here it's $2.26. I've measured it a few times at $2.13, $2.37, whatever, something in that probably closer to 220 area is what we get most of the time, and that makes a lot of sense too, right? If we take this high to low of this overall move here, you've got your double golden extension, the 2618 up here. It's very common, first and foremost, okay, if we draw any fib high to low, it's very common to stop in the primary expected zone. This is your primary target zone, the 1272 right here to the 1618. That's a very common area to stop at, okay? And then the secondary area is where you look at after you deal with the first area, right? Normally you have to go here, you got to consolidate, and then you come up and run through here. But if you have very small fib areas, which this is a pretty large fib area that I drew. If you have relatively small fib areas, which I would say that's pretty small, personally, that is very small, you can actually bypass the primary expected zone often, a lot of times, and hit the secondary zone, which the secondary zone at the top would be right around $2.04. Sometimes, and also oftentimes with these very small fib ranges, not only do you hit the top end of this secondary zone, but sometimes you even hit the 2886 to the 3113 area, and that is around 247 to 290. So there is a lot of opportunity to go to prices that are above $2. Okay, at a minimum, I would expect $1.59, and we get some congruence there as well, right? If we take the overall high to low of the cycle, last cycle, May 2021 to December 2022, the high to low there, where is it? Yeah, your 1272 is at $1.54 here. Your 2272 is at $1.59 there. That as a minimum, right? If you can't get on board with me saying that XLM, it's at 40 cents now, you can't get on board with me saying it's going to go to prices above $2 by the end of February, if not sometime in the middle of March. If that sounds too ridiculous to you, then at least understand that nothing less than $1.59, $1.60, nothing less than that will do. You're at 40 cents now. You have essentially got at least a 4x in you by the next month and a half, in the next 6 weeks' time, I would assume. Okay? And it starts this week. That's your minimum target. We start getting to the areas that I accept as a realistic possibility. And it's realistic. You could stop at $1.60. I don't want to make it sound like it's not realistic. I accept it as a possibility. But what I believe to happen is that you will stop somewhere more between $2.04 and $2.47 with the opportunity to go to $2.91, even above $3. It could happen. You never know. Anybody saying, oh, $3, $2, it can't happen, man, this is crypto, right? Does it need to remind you what this thing can do in a very short amount of time, right? It can do this. It can do this. It absolutely can. Take into consideration also that it will be in a blue sky breakout in an area that it's never been in before. The last time that it did something like that, we saw some pretty miraculous moves, the moves of which we haven't seen since we've been in this zone. We're breaking out of this zone this cycle. We're breaking out of this zone on this next move itself. So when I tell you I'm expecting prices at $2, $2.20, $2.47 kind of at the highest, with the possibility to go as high as $3.58, I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I genuinely mean that. That $3.58, that's your golden ratio. That's the extension of your last cycle high to low. That's a very significant thing to do. What you're doing here, okay, high to low is you've had this very significant move tearing up through the golden ratio, pulling back to bounce at it. Oftentimes, I don't care what the time frame is, that's enough for me. That's an extremely bullish premonition, foreshadowing of how you're going to interact with this zone here. Oftentimes, when you tear through your golden ratio like this, you check back to find support, and then you're off to the races into this extended zone. Oftentimes, and I'm not just saying this for the effect of this video, I'm saying this because I have 8 years and more than that in technical analysis experience, and I've seen it happen. In this setup, generally, it's acceptable to consider the 1618 as a stopping point, okay, of this move. I'm just saying. The only reason why I'm not considering this move as heavily is because I'm using logic outside of just this fib. But I'm telling you, this fib alone, enough, if I looked at nothing else, I would have a very strong reason to believe 358 would be where you're going to go, right? There's no reason that I would accept anything less than 218 just looking at this alone. But we've looked at other things. We've made sense out of it in other ways that it could stop at lower areas than that, okay? But I'm telling you. I'm not saying this to convince you more that 358 is going to happen. I'm not trying to convince you that. If anything, and not financial, it's not a financial opinion, or it is I guess it's an opinion. It's just not financial advice. I do think we go to about 218, and if you sold there or took some profits there, you're probably doing all right for yourself, right? But you never know. You never know the future. And again, I'm more talking about this to again solidify that it is a possibility. You're never going to catch the absolute high of the move if you don't accept it as a possibility. If you're only thinking it's going to go to $1.54 and you think that's crazy, what if it does go to $3.58? You were nowhere near the top, and you would never be because you were never open to it to begin with. I don't anticipate that we go to $3.58 by the end of this move. I don't expect it, but I accept it as a possibility, and I acknowledge it as a possibility. And that's important. I think it's very important. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling at this point. We're at 40 cents now. I think it starts now. We're going to see a move that takes us up to $1.54, $2.20, $2.46 at the most. I think it's happening now. The monthly RSI is insanely bullish. The weekly RSI is very bullishly postured. Your price action too just looks ferocious, bouncing off that golden ratio. 3-day time frame, bullish as hell, waiting to do something. You just need a little bit of oomph today or tomorrow, or over the next 3 days. And the daily time frame too, finding support in areas that you've just continued to find support. Right, support here, support there, support there, support here, support there. It's just that same area. This time we're not going to find resistance here, or resistance here, or resistance here. This time we're getting into the overbought zone. What happened the last time that we went from this same area into the overbought zone? I wonder, boom. If we did this same move, we're going up to $2.20, and there's nothing you can do about it. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, my friends. Bye.